Welcome to another Pedal Prose video. I'm Brent, and this is a look at the MSR race night. Instead of doing a Zwift race this past Thursday, I went down to Angleton to the MSR racetrack, got on the track, and did a preview night for what they're hoping is going to become a crit series. Now I'm going to keep this short, I'm going to keep it quick, and I want to give you some of the pros and some of the cons of what I saw. First off, let's talk about the pros. The first great thing about it is we've got a race promoter excited to try something new in the greater Houston area in Southeast Texas. The more promoters, organizers we can get doing cool cycling stuff, the better. It's great for cycling, it's great for biking, it's great for racing. Everybody wins. I'm really happy to see a bunch of really enthusiastic guys on a team trying to make this happen. So first thing that I love about this, something new, something exciting, that's awesome. The second thing, it's bike racing on a racetrack. That's just cool. We see the Driveway Series in Austin, that's super successful. You have great teams, great riders, a great event every week. It just works. There's no centerline rule, there's no traffic danger, promoters don't have to hire law enforcement to man intersections. It just really fits. It works well for cycling. It works well for these racetracks that need a revenue stream on weeknights. It's cool. It's a good idea, and it's a good fit. The third thing I like about this is the timing of it. They're looking at doing this in the fall. Fall is when road race season typically winds down. The state road race is in September, Chapel Hill is in September, but other than those two things, there's not a lot of road racing in September. We move into other disciplines at that time. Cyclocross gets real big at that time. But for road racing, there's not a lot going on, and that's kind of when it winds down. And this gives people something perhaps to look forward to doing during the off season. Those are three big pros that I really like about this. So let's talk about some of the cons, some of the negatives of this potential race series. First of all, I have to mention the pavement. It's not the worst pavement I've ever seen. If I was going to rank it in a road race scenario on a scale of 1 to 10 out of all the things I've ever raced on, I'd probably give it a 5 or 6. It's not terrible. It's definitely raceable. We weren't racing last night. We were driving along at about 15 to 25 miles an hour, depending. No racing, casual riding. We had 3 or 4 riders slide out at non-race pace. That's a little concerning because if you're racing at 25 miles an hour plus, you're taking those corners and not just choosing your line because you're riding casually, you're sort of being fed your line as you ride through in the race, and it's wet at all, there's going to be issues. I don't know if part of that is because of the rubber from the race car tires that gets the track slick when it's slightly wet. There are cracks in the track too that were a little concerning that you may not be paying attention to during a race, especially if you're not up on the front. So the pavement was a little bit concerning. I've seen track racing before, and this was what I would consider below average as far as the tarmac's condition. The second con, and the biggest one that I can think of for this course, is that it's really far away. I left the office at 5 p.m. on the dot. I work in the Galleria area, right by the Marathon Oil Tower. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get there from a west central Houston location. An hour and 40 minutes from a central location. That's south of I-10 already. If you live and or work north of I-10, I don't think you can get to this race on time unless you're taking off earlier. You have a very flexible schedule. I got there at 6:40. The event was starting at 7. If that had been a race, I would have had 20 minutes to get there, gear up, warm up, get to the line, and race. That's just not enough time, and that's if I'm not racing until 7. So location is a big drawback to this. It's just not conveniently located. Now, pros, cons, what do I think overall? Mostly I think that this is a good step forward for racing in Southeast Texas. I think that this place and the enthusiasm of the promoters are the right idea, but the wrong venue. Now, talking to several racers afterwards, they thought that this might work as a one-off event, sort of like the Houston Grand Crit, where you have a big Saturday or Sunday event, set everybody up on the infield, pop-ups, food trucks, etc. Racers don't have to worry about fighting rush hour traffic to get there, to a distant location, yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea. I don't know that that's what these promoters have in mind, but there are other tracks more centrally located in Houston where this would work better. These promoters obviously don't have the relationship with those tracks yet, but overall I think this is a positive step forward, but I would not do a series at this course. Anyway, that's it. I wish I could have filmed more of what we were doing and gotten you some more ideas of what was going on the track, but we were only there for an hour. We ran out of daylight because it got really overcast and started raining. None of my film gear is weather sealed other than the GoPro, so getting the drone out, getting the camera out, getting the gimbal out, trying to film stuff, trying to show you the configurations just didn't work as well as I wanted, but hopefully we'll be doing some cool stuff like this in the future. I love that great ideas like this are coming out of the Houston cycling community. That's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Let your light shine, and I'll see you next time.